Alright, in this video we are going to see how to create this poll design using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. This is episode number 74. Let's see what it does. If you click on S, you will see the percentage and the progress bar. Let me refresh this page and try again. Click on No. So this is going to be static because we are not going to use any backend to make this increment or decrement based on yes or no. This is just a UI design. Fine, let's get started. To follow along, I'll leave the source code in the description. So this is episode number 74 and we have our JavaScript playlist. So you can see I have started from 1 and reached till here episode number 74. Now if you are interested in learning HTML, CSS and JavaScript project, I would recommend you to start from 1 and reach till here. And I'll leave the link in the description in case if you are interested, just visit it. And for the source code of this particular project is also in the description box. You can download it and start along with me. Now let's get started. The first thing, we need 3 files. Let me create 3 files. The first one is index.html. I'm going to name this as index2.html, and the second is style.css. This is going to be the this is going to be style sheet. I'm going to name this as style2.css. I am going this as a prefix to it is because we are in the same folder. To avoid the name conflict, I am using style2. And finally the script2.js. Cool. Now exclamatory tab. We are in VS Code. Let me link the style sheet. Link tab. It is style2.css. And again script. We need to link the script sheet. Script2.js. Cool. Let me just show you what the HTML does. Let me remove this h1. Now if you see, we have a container. Inside the container we have header, and this header is simply the question, and then we have label section. Sorry, this is the poll area. Let's create this as well. And inside the poll area we have 2 options. This option is inside label. So you can see label has 2 child. The first one is row and the second one is progress bar. The progress bar has the variable w30. This is the 30%. If you see, if you click on this, you'll see 30. It is because of this 30%. The same way, as I said, it has 2 child, and this row again has 2 child inside. The first one is column and the second one is progress. This progress is just a text here, and the column has this circle and the text yes. Again the same way, label, this is for no's option. The same way, row has 2 child, sorry, the label has 2 child and the row and the progress bar. Again the row has 2 child, the column and progress. The column again has 2 child, the circle and text. So this is clear. Let me directly jump into CSS. To follow, I just use the Google font poppins, and for all the element I have added poppins and added margin and I have removed for all element margin and padding to 0. Now let me show you how that looks. It's index2.html on the same folder. We have to give body. Let's style the body. Let me give background color as red, not that dark red. Let's just make this kind of red, and whatever is there in the body I want it to be at the center. So display. So directly we have as a child, we don't need this, control W. Directly inside the body we have the child container. We have to place this at the center. So display flex, align items center, justify content center. Align item will only work when you give height to it, 100% of viewport height. Viewport is simply the viewport is simply the browser. If you feel that it is too bright, you can make this become a pure light. We don't need that. Cool. Now let's design the container. Let me give the width of the container as 600 pixel Let me give the background color as white. Let me give the padding 20 pixel, border radius 5 pixel, text shadow, top and bottom x-axis, y-axis, and blurriness, and the color. Not text shadow, it's walk shadow. So I'm leaving this to you. I'm not making this perfect. If you want perfect, take your time and do your best. This seems okay. Cool. If you want to top bottom, left and right 20 pixel, let me make this top and bottom 40 pixel. And for the header, font size, font weight, let this be 600. Font size, let this be 1.1 rem. Actually, it's a class. Cool. Let me zoom this in 150%. Cool. Now it's time to design the label. Label display flex. Align item center. Justify content. Align item won't work. Justify content space between would work. It's a class. No, it's not a class. We have label. Label has row. So we need to give row display flex because progress bar is black, so it won't take space. So cool. So now it's time to give a label width and height. Let this let the we need to give the padding top and bottom 10 pixel, left and right 0. It's a class. No, it's not a class. Inspect this, select either one, choose the label. Actually, in order to make this work, we need to give display block. Now this would work. Border 1 pixel solid black, sorry for that. And along with margin we need to give padding, sorry, along with padding we need to give margin 10 top and bottom, left and right 0, 5 pixel left and right. Cool. Select the label and let's just decrease the, if it's too much I can make this work. Cool. We can give border radius 5 pixel. This seems to be alright. We can still add 25. Yep. Now it's time to give style to the circle. We have label, inside we have row, inside we have column, inside we have span tag with class circle. We need to give width of 15 pixel, height of 15 pixel, and in order to see any changes we need to give background color red. We have label, label has row, row has column, and column has circle. Everything seems to be working fine. Yeah, in order to make this work, we need to give display block. Span is an inline element, so call the column, and we have to make this display flex, and align items center in order to vertically align. And for the circle we need to give margin right 10 pixel, If it's too much, you can make this 8. And since it's a square, we can make this circle by making border radius 50%, and border 1 pixel solid red. We don't need red, we'll use the same grayish color over here. Now we need to remove this red. Cool. But when I hover on this, I want this circle to have a point. So for that, we need to use the pseudo element colon after. In order to make the pseudo element work, we need to give position relative, because we are going to use position absolute here. So this is required or else it won't work. This attribute is required, else it won't work. Position absolute. So we would fill the circle by making width and height width 100% and height 100%. Background color red. So now it would fill. Again, to make this circle, border radius 50% would help. Now let's reduce this to 80. Now to make this at the center, we will be using left 50%, top 50%, and translate on x-axis minus 50%, and on y-axis again minus 50%. It's a shortened property. It's not working. Cool, you got this. Now we'll use this grayish color again. So this would only work when I hover on it. So label colon hover, then only give the background color, this one. Refresh. So if you see, and for the label, let this be position relative, because progress bar needs position absolute, and we need cursor to be pointer. Press it. Now if you see, it's working. Now again, we would be adding a class called selected with JavaScript on the class label. If the class has label selected, then the circle with pseudo element after will have the background color. Let's just make this in order to see what color we have. Select this pseudo, and let's make this slightly reddish. Cool. And this will only happen when we click on it with we'll be adding this with JavaScript. So in case we want to see, the first line will be overridden, so you can see if I click it, the red will be applied only on click. Cool. Now everything seems to be working right. Now it's time for the progress bar, and the progress bar is the direct child of label with progress bar. We'll be using position absolute, width of 100%, height of 100% of label, background red, and left need to be 0 and top need to be 0. Now it is fully covered. If you want, you can make the transparent less. Press this so you can see, and we want the width to be taken from the variable over here. So we'll be using, where's the width, calculate function 1% into the variable, which is just 30. Oh, actually it's not 30, it's w, which is hyphen. This is how we need to write. Cool. So this has 30 and this has 70. Now by default it needs to be display none, or it does not need to be display none. It need to be width 0, width of 0%. The first one would be overridden, or else we'll directly comment this. So when the class selected is applied, the progress bar should have this width. So refresh this. So we'll manually add selected to the label. Where is the label? Class equal to selected. Refresh this so you can see it's there. So if you this class will be applied when we click on the element with JavaScript. So if you refresh this again, so this is how it works. Cool, almost everything is done, and we need to hide the progress. This progress is just a span tag, display none, and that's gone. Now it's time to work on the JavaScript. First of all, we need label document.query selector. Get the label. It will just give you the last one. Sorry, first one. We need all. So that's labels. So we'll be using for loop. For loop. Variables should start with 0. Variable is greater than equal to length length then I plus plus. Sorry for that. Now console dot log, if you check this labels with variable passed true, you will get all the labels. Console, you'll see two label. We got two label. And third one is undefined. Let's see. Let's just make this one 0 greater than or equal to. Actually, it was right. Cool. Let's just skip that. So for all element, we are going to add event listener. Fast I for all element. Add event listener, which is click. And if you see, we should get the current label. Cannot read properties of add listener. Okay, the undefined is causing the problem. We need to remove this equal to. So if I click on the label, you should get the label, but we are not getting it. Labels. So wherever we clicked, we need this. We need to add this. So this simply is referring to the clicked label. So you can see we are getting the label, and we need to add the class to the selected label. This dot class list dot add. This will allow you to add the class selected to it. Refresh it. Selected. Cool, that works. Now before clicking, we need to remove the selected. So if I click here yes, and if I click on no, the previously added need to be removed. So for that, again we would be running a for loop on the labels itself, just by changing the variable. So that means again we will be getting two labels, and for all labels j dot, we need to remove this with the class remove. Refresh it. Yes, so you can see it's working. But the thing is, when I click on either one, both the progress bar need to be activated. So for that, again, for all labels, here we need different variable. For all labels, we will be using the label with the label, since label is a parent of progress bar dot query selector. We don't need all dot progress hyphen bar. style dot, so we need to add the width. So let me just make you width of 100%. Let's just hardcode the value for just to show you. So there is some problem on line number 9. It says unexpected token. Let's just make this string. Click on it. Yeah, you are getting the 100%. Now we somehow need to get this value and add it over here. So it's very easy. We have JavaScript property for that, get property value. So if you see style dot get property value, press this. So again, either one is working. Let me see. This is causing problem. Focus for refresh. Click on no. Click on yes. Actually, this is not working, I guess. Okay, the problem here is we'll be just getting the value here, val values, which is 30 and 70. So what we need to do is we need to assign this to all the progress bar dot width equal to, we need to pass this values. Refresh it, click on yes. That seems to be a problem again. Again, it's just a hard code value, either 30 or 70. We need to make this percentage, so we need to concatenate with string. Refresh it. Yeah, it works. So now we need a little transition, so for that, and before that, on each click it should work. So let's first add transition to the progress bar. Its progress bar is there. Transition 0.5 yes. Click on yes. Cool. And on each click it should restart again. So on each click it should restart. So that means the value need to be 0. Well, you need to be 0 first. Then after certain amount of time it should show its original value. So we'll use set timeout and 500 millisecond. Refresh it. You can see after certain millisecond it's showing up. And along with that we need to show the progress bar value as well. Sorry, progress value, which it says fan tag. If you remember, we have made display none to it. Dot style dot display equal to block, and on each click it first need to be none and then it should show block. See, refresh it, click on yes. Refresh it, click on no. Cool. The same way, click on yes, click on no. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for listening.